Hello friends, in this video we are going to install the timing gear on the Perkins engine. If you want to learn the procedure, please watch the complete video. That is the crankshaft gear, and these two are the timing marks on the crankshaft gear. We have to enhance these two timing marks to make sure that when the front gear housing is installed, these timing marks are easily visible to us. We will also enhance the timing mark on the idler gear. There are three timing marks on the idler gear, but we have to enhance the one which is going to engage with the crankshaft gear. Remove the idler gear hub, that is the hub of the idler gear. Remove it to lubricate it before installation. These three holes are for the bolts and one for the oil. The upper one is for the oil. The oil hole will be matched with the oil hole and bolt hole will be matched with the bolt hole. Now check the oil line clearance on the hub and also make sure that the timing mark on the idler gear are facing to the front of the idler gear. The timing marks on the hub on the idler gear are to the front of the idler gear. Now enhance the timing mark on the idler gear, which is to be inserted or engaged with the crankshaft teeth. The teeth of the idler gear will be matched with the teeth of the crankshaft, and the timing mark is enhanced to make sure that they are installed properly. You have to look closely into the hole where the seal is installed, where you install the seal, and you can see that the timing marks are properly aligned. There you can see the white marks. Install the bolts and T onto the top of the spacer on the idler gear. Make sure that the oil hole is to the top of the hub and ensure that the marks are to the front of the idler gear. That is the point to be noted when installing the idler gear on Perkins engine. After installing the idler gear, we will install the camshaft gear. Ensure that the marked teeth on the camshaft gear are facing towards the front and the key is installed in the camshaft. Install the camshaft gear onto the camshaft. If necessary, tap the camshaft gear with a soft hammer. In our case, it was not needed. And if your camshaft is not installing, you can tap it with the lightweight hammer, with a soft rubber hammer in fact. Now that is the gear for the fuel pump. Match the marks on the fuel pump gear and the idler gear. Now you can see the marks on the crankshaft are matched with the idler gear. Marks on the idler gear and the camshaft gear also matched, and the fuel pump marks and the idler gear marks are also matched. These 3 points are very critical when installing the timing gear on Perkins engine. The fuel pump is locked, and how to lock the fuel pump I have made another video on how to lock the fuel pump. I will share the link of that video in the end of this one, and you can learn how to lock the fuel pump before installing. Install the fuel pump with the light hand. Do not apply the force as the fuel pump is locked, and if you apply the force, if the gear rotates with the locked fuel pump, the fuel pump will be damaged. After installing the nut on the fuel pump, the lock nut, unlock the fuel pump. To unlock the fuel pump, loose the bolt and move the spacer in the opposite direction. When you tight the spacer at this place, when spacer is locked with that bolt, the fuel pump is free. When the spacer is free to move, your fuel pump is locked. Just remember that simple rule. There you can see the fuel pump spacer is locked, and under that bolt like a washer, and it is keeping a gap between the fuel pump body and the bolt, and this way the spacer in between the body will keep the bolt from engaging with the pump. If we remove the spacer or rotate the spacer in the opposite direction, this bolt will lock the fuel pump. After unlocking the fuel pump, we will tighten the bolts and the nut on the timing gear of 3-cylinder Perkins engine. After tightening the bolts, we are going to start the engine. After completing the assembly, and our engine started smoothly. That was a complete overhauling project from which I have just taken out the videos of timing gear installation. If you want to see the complete overhauling project, I will share the link of the playlist at the end of this video. You can also see that the installation of crankshaft, starting from crankshaft, camshaft, and then bearings and piston and liner, and complete overhauling is in that playlist. We have started the engine and it's running smoothly. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like that, and if you liked the video, share this video with your friends who are working on the generators.